Hey guys, Reaganite71 back with you to show you how I'm going to start my sugar peas indoors this year. Seems like every year I get them started, we get a couple of weeks of spring, and then boom, we're into the heat of summer, and they just don't do very well. So this year I'm going to get them started early indoors in the buckets, the same buckets that I used last year. If you'd like to see that video on planting sugar peas in a 5-gallon bucket, I'll put a link down below here. But I'm going to use the same bucket, and yesterday it was fairly warm outside. We actually got up into the 70s. It's changed today, but I had a chance to get outside and I actually cleared out all of the weeds and what have you from the bucket, and then I filled with fresh compost. And so today I'm going to show you how I'm going to grow indoors, and I've got a little setup here that you might find pretty neat. Now for this setup, you just need a couple of 5-gallon buckets filled with potting soil, your compost. It's even better to mix it up if you have a little bit of both, a little moisture control since you're growing in containers. The other thing that I've done is I went to China Mart and I got a couple of $2 oil pans, and I'm down into that. That way as I water, I've already got the holes drilled in the bottom from last year when I made the sugar pea buckets. So I've got drainage taken care of, but I need something to catch it so it doesn't run all over my room, so we're going to do that right there. The other thing that you're going to need is a couple of stakes. These are probably about 4.5 foot tall, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive these down into each of the buckets opposed to one another like so. That way I have to attach my lights to, and these are just your standard lamp clamp lights. I've got 100-watt daylight curly Q bulbs in there. They only cost you about 23 watts, but they'll be really good for this. So we'll put that right there. The other thing that you're going to need, I've had a lot of people talking to me about using Mylar instead of aluminum foil, and so I've got this here. This cost about $2.97 there at China Mart, and you get it in the camping section. It's a solar blanket or a Mylar blanket, and what I'm going to do is basically using these 2 posts that I'm also going to use to put the lights on. I'm going to use the posts to hold the light in like so. So let's get to planting. Now I've gone ahead and soaked these peas overnight in some water so that they're good and waterlogged and ready to go. They'll be ready to germinate better. And basically what I'm going to do is on all 4 cardinal points, I'm basically going to make 1 to 2 inch holes, and I'm going to pop our peas in the hole and cover them up. Now that I've got the peas planted, I'm going to go ahead and move my buckets to where I want this to sit for the entire duration that they're going to grow indoors. That way they're not in the way. I'll be able to water and not have any problems over here. Now yesterday I pre-moistened the soil, and now I'm going to go ahead and give it another drink now and water it in really good. If you have dry soil, it'll soak that water up and you'll have problems germinating your seeds because they're not getting wet enough and staying moist. Dry them out. We don't want that. Now that we've got that set up, I'm going to go ahead and set up the lamp clamps here. You want to keep the light as close to the sprouts as possible when they come out in order to avoid legginess and all of that. So I'm going to keep them down low like this to start off with. We're also going to make sure we keep this electrical cord routed away from the water. When we go to water, we'll actually turn everything off, get the lamps out of the way, water, and then set it back up. It's going to be really simple since we're using that Mylar also. And the next thing I'll do is plug the lamps in, and we'll power it up. In order to retain our light and make maximum use of it and have it bounce back in on the plants, we're going to put our Mylar over. We'll get it all evened up, and you could use as far as holding it on the sides here. You could certainly use clothespins or anything of that sort, paper clips, in order to keep this pinned up and retain that light in there. But there you have it, folks. A quick, simple, easy way to grow sugar peas indoors, or at least get them started so that when spring does come on, they'll be ready to rock and roll for you. Guys, this is Reaganite 71. Appreciate you watching. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see you next time.